Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a spiral muck dyed hoodie. I'm using another one of the Buffalo brand hoodies which I purchased at Costco. They're 70% viscose, 16% cotton, 11% polyester, and 3% elastane. And they are super soft. I'm using a pair of locking tweezers, placing it where I'd like to start the spiral. Then I'm going to use a splatter guard for a microwave, put that over the top of my locking tweezers, and start my spiral. The splatter guard is going to help me keep my folds a little bit flatter. Because the hoodie's so thick, I'm having a hard time spinning my locking tweezers. So I'm going to just kind of hold them in place and use my hands to form the spirals or the folds around the tweezers. By the way, I have the back of the hoodie facing up. I found that whatever the side is that I start my spiral on is usually the messier side. On hoodies, I think it's a little easier to spiral the back side of the hoodie because it doesn't have the pocket. The pocket kind of hinders the folds just a little bit more. And I want the front side of the hoodie to have the prettier folds too. That'll be a little easier to apply the dye to. Once I'm finished with my folding, I'm going to hold the folds in place with some rubber bands. I'm going to use some pretty large stretchy rubber bands so that it doesn't cause the hoodie to kind of fold in on itself. The purpose of the rubber bands is not necessarily to hold everything super tight, it's just to hold everything in place. If you put enough of them on there, they'll be fine. I reuse a lot of my rubber bands too. I wash them off really well and then reuse them. And I think the ones that have been used for a while are actually the best to use for hoodies sometimes because they're a little stretchier. Before I start applying the dye to the hoodie, I'm going to use a washable marker and divide it into 7 sections. I'm making sure each of the lines meets up in the spiral. I'm going to muck dye this hoodie, and right now I have it on a rack. So I'm going to take the rack out of the container and just place the hoodie on the bottom of the container. Muck dyeing is allowing the shirt or the hoodie or whatever garment you're dyeing to sit down in the runoff from the melting ice that's mixing with the dye. So for this hoodie, I've chosen 7 different colors that have really great color splits. And I'm going to apply one color to each of the sections that I drew on the hoodie. I'm starting with Black Cherry from Dharma, followed by Moose from Dharma. Moose was a special seasonal color, and I had a little bit of it left over from where I purchased it initially, but they actually brought it back in 2022 as a zombie color. Then I'm using Spicy Plum from Pro Chemical and Dye, Shiitake Mushroom from Dharma, Dusty Purple from Pro Chemical and Dye, Bracken from Dharma, and here again, Bracken was one of those special seasonal colors that they brought back as zombie colors in 2022. Then the last color I'm going to use is Stormy Sky from Pro Chemical. Then I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of soda ash over the top of the dye before adding on the ice. I used all of the bagged ice that I had, so I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of larger chunks of ice that I make in containers. Then I'm going to place a lid on this container and put the hoodie outside. It's still warm, kind of in the 80s right now, and so this is going to be able to process out in the heat. I left the hoodie for probably about a day and a half after all the ice melted before I started rinsing it out. If you notice, the entire hoodie is not totally underneath the muck. That's okay. I can tell that it's soaking up the dye really well. If it looked like it was kind of light, I could have gone ahead and added a little bit more ice. There is a little bit of undissolved dye left sitting on top. Then to rinse the hoodie, I took it to my utility sink and I started rinsing in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. I also took the rubber bands off at some point, and after rinsing for a while, I decided to go ahead and soak the hoodie. I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent, and allowed the hoodie to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and continued that soaking process until the water was almost clear. Then I put the hoodie, along with some Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent, into my washing machine and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Now that the hoodie's been washed and dried, this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I didn't think I would ever say this, but I actually think this could be an example of too many color splits. I don't know. It just looks like a lot to me. I don't know. I don't know if I like this one. I don't mind most of the colors, but the red blotches on there just kind of, I don't know. I just don't know what to say about this one. I honestly don't. I can pick out most colors, and the only thing that could be causing those red blotches is the black cherry. I mean, normally I love black cherry on things, but I'm just not sure about it on this one. It got a little bit darker in the middle too than I wanted it to. I tried to avoid putting a whole lot of dye right in that center part of the spiral because I didn't want it to get muddy, but it kind of did anyway. And I mean, I do like the unexpected colors like the blues and the greens, which are coming off of like the spicy plum and stormy sky. Dusty purple throws a green. I think those are great, but that red mixed in, I don't know. That's just weird. And it's strange because it is in odd places on the hoodie. It's not in like one stripe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I'm truly at a loss for words. But what do you guys think? What do you think is causing that red part? I don't know. Drop me some comments down below if you've got any ideas what's doing it. And I sure would appreciate it if you would at least like the video if you enjoyed watching it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.